show you something beautiful. Everyone screaming for mercy. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. You're all puppets, tangled in strings.
There are no motherfucking strings on me. What the fuck is up? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It's What the Fuck Wednesday. I am joined here by motherfucking Corey Cobain.
I'm here.
We got, look, you said that like Bueller.
Bueller.
He just sounds so excited to be here.
Yeah, I might
At least he sounded better than yesterday on his own show. He was like, yeah, now the next song there is, we're going to go into this next song. It's not racist, but it's called racist. You had that caller, my dick's in the ear caller. You want to say what? Caller. All right, so it is fucking. This is actually a continuation of last night. Shit, we just got a little bit of rest. I don't even think any of us got that much.
Not really. No.
We kind of bled Rap Tuesday into What the Fuck Wednesday, pre-game, whatever the fuck there. And we just kept rolling that shit out. So if you didn't catch that shit last night, it was silly as fuck. Maybe you should. Got some good music on there. Some shit I ain't never heard. You know, I analyzed the song for about an hour. So I didn't want to get too political on this show. I mean, because I think we had a decent time last time. We were just playing the game here. But I got no choice, man. It ain't really going to go too deep into, like, the president and this and that. But there's a lot of, I don't even want to call them conspiracy theories out there, because a lot of this shit got real plausibility and truths in it. I mainly wanted to talk about these environmental whack jobs out here. Same ones that are telling you you're going to die if you walk out your house or whatever from this COVID, whatever the fuck. Again, you know, don't be an idiot. Make sure you take whatever precaution you have. But just remember, no matter what precaution you take, somehow, some way, if it's going to get you, it's going to get you. I seen motherfuckers, they're in the grocery store and they got the masks on and they got the gloves on and whatever. And then when it's time to check out, they take the gloves off. They go and grab their credit card out their pocket or wallet or purse or whatever. They put it in the fucking machines and they punching in numbers with no fucking glove on. Well, Dick, you just fucking fucked up your whole game there.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mama done touched that fucking, that little punch pad. If anything, that would be the shit you might want to fucking stand 6 feet away from, dumbass. Oh my God. It was really killing me. It must be just us around here. But the old folks who we supposed to really be protected, they ain't wearing no fucking mask. I seen a couple people like maybe my mom's age, late 50s, early 60s, somewhere around there. A couple of them with masks on. Not very many, just a handful. But what I have seen was a bunch of people my age, our ages, with masks on, with gloves on, I mean, even though I don't think this is as bad as they're saying it is, hey, I could be fucking wrong. And I know that I could be wrong, so wrong or right, what's it gonna hurt for me to make sure I got a mask on and some gloves on? Easy as that, man. I mean, but like the whole point of what I was saying was, I've seen more older folks looking at me like I'm fucking retarded because I'm walking into the store with a mask and gloves on. Like, the looks I get, like I was about to rob them. Look, I'm trying to save you. I don't know who touched my McNuggets before I fucking came into this goddamn store. What the hell? I may be healthy, but your ass might not be. Motherfucker, how you gonna look at me like I done stole your fucking cat? It cracks me the fuck up, man. And then I overheard now. I was listening to, and this is another thing that I couldn't understand why the big boom of the masks. CDC, I mean, and this is up to, today I watched the Surgeon General talk about it. Said these masks ain't doing dick. These masks actually can cause you to keep that shit or get that shit. They have different types of logic and different types of reasoning. I could totally understand it just in me, myself. The mask that I wear is, a high filter one. I said it before, it's for when I'm riding my motorcycle. It's actually a little bit better than the ones they're recommending if, for the doctors and shit. But I touch that motherfucker all the time. I'm adjusting it all the time. Even before this shit. So I know goddamn well, same thing like with the ATM. So what happens when you're at the ATM and you hit all them buttons on the ATM because all the fucking banks are closed? And now, you got a line of cars at the ATM. How many motherfuckers hit them buttons? No mask, no gloves on. I watched a dude dangle out his truck earlier to punch his numbers in. What's that mask gonna do there? What happens when your gloves touch that fucking ATM machine, but then you adjust your mask because it slipped down a little bit? Or you rub your eye a little bit? What happens if your elbow touches something and you happen to sneeze inside your weenus like you're supposed to? Now what? You corona it out. So, I mean, you can take this to the extreme, like, no end. Just be smart about things, man. We're humans. We're supposed to be the clean animals. We got reduced down to raccoons a long time ago. Raccoons are a lot cleaner than fucking, humans these days. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So, I started off this whole, this bothered the fuck out of me because I'm all for taking care of our environment. I'm all for, it's irresponsible to think you shouldn't be aware of your surroundings, take care of your surroundings, You're just an asshole if you think otherwise. Now, when you start taking it to extremes, like AOC and Bernie Sanders and all these other social libtards or whatever the fuck you want to call them, then that's where I got a problem. You know, I believe in taking care of our environment, but I believe in taking care of our people too. Team people comes first. I'm sorry. You know, if my whole community could run on a fucking car plant that is putting out, you know, a little bit more fucking carbon dioxide or monoxide, whatever the fuck it is that you guys are against, then you like, we're not going to shut down my fucking community because you don't like that shit. And then that whole carbon tax scam that Obama fucking started, you know, can we pay the tax to get out of this coronavirus? Or does that shit only work for the bad air?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what it was. You know, if you paid this little carbon tax, then you could shit out whatever fucking carcinogens into the air you wanted and fuck, you know, all these other liberal folks.
Yep.
So that just shows you they were never really gave a fuck about the environment. It was a fucking scam. It was a big fucking scam. So, I guess that's why this caught my eye. There's a place, now I'm going to try to pronounce this shit. This is in Africa. It's called Agbabloshi. Agbabloshi. AgbobloshiE.
Okay, I'll go with you.
We just gonna call it the African city. And that's not racist because it's in Africa, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm allowed to say it.
Alright, so the fucked up thing about this little, it's like a village, a town, whatever you want to call it. The town pretty much consists of a dump. The biggest e-waste, and that's the word I was looking for last night. The biggest e-waste dump in the world. Now, what e-waste is electronics, computers, TVs, monitors, printers, radios, speakers, you know, anything that has electronics to it. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, I mean, you know, you got a lot of folks out here who gets that. There's a process that you take all this shit and it's very non-eco-friendly. But you can actually extract gold out of a lot of the computers and shit. It's very not cost-effective. It's kind of for the hobbyists or whatever. They're not going for that. What they're doing is, you know, and this dump is catching e-waste from everywhere, including America. And there are, I don't even know what catches on fire that's green, but there are puddles. I can't even say puddles, like pools of green something on fire in this place. Just steady burning. There's the couple videos I've seen and the news clips I've seen, you know, there's goats and cows and all kind of animals going through it too, just kind of eating whatever kind of toxic shit that's in there. I don't see any, you know, America's constantly being compared to these handful of other countries that are so eco-friendly and this and that. We're not that bad. America is not that bad. We're constantly getting put down. Oh, America got out of the climate accords, and America, you know, took down these EPA regulations. This place farts toxic fumes. Nobody's putting up a windmill there. Nobody's putting up solar panels there. They're tearing them apart. Nobody's fucking going out there and saying, hey, we're going to shut this shit down. They do have some kind of a environmental regulatory people that came in. This was silly as fuck. It's 3 dudes, look like it could have been us, with this little thing that looks like the coronavirus fucking thermometer, you know, that one you kind of stand back and squeeze.
Yeah.
And they go and they just pick out a part of the land on this dump and they scan it. Now they're only allowed to, I forget what chemical it is, I believe lead was a part of it, but you're only allowed to have so much of this particular chemical in the ground. Period. You know, and then I believe it's 3,000 parts per million. This place, on average, is 6,000 to 9,000 parts per million. And the guys go and they talk to the guy who runs the place. And he gives them a few dollars. And they go about their fucking business. People still dumping and still dumping. Problem is, it's gotten to the point now that even though that place is toxic as fuck and has wiped out years and years of the people's lives who scavenge that place and the ones around it, but they can't get rid of it because it supports so many people. That land out there is so poor that people drop their kids off at 12 years old at this dump and tell them to go.
Just run off. Don't come back home.
I watched an interview. There was 3 little boys. The oldest one was 14. The youngest one was 12. They have no clue where their parents are. Their parents said they couldn't afford them to work. These kids, you know, some of them are barefooted, walking around in this fucking grimy ass shit. Some of them got kind of like Crocs and shit. Only a handful of older ones, the older teenage ones, because this isn't just a few people.
Yeah.
This is a livelihood for a lot of these fucking people.
Like some slumdog millionaire shit.
Dude, slumdog millionaires motherfucking made bank compared to these people. They make anywhere from $5 to $8 a day. That's if they hustle. They got to pull the parts out of the computers and shit. They got to pull the parts out of, you know, whatever is there. 90% of the time, barehanded. That $5 to $8 a day gives them one meal. They have to find their own housing, which is usually on the scrapyard site or dump site. They have like, it looks like just a big wooden fucking box with, you know, them bookshelves that are just like squares.
Yeah.
You know, just a bunch of squares and there's one big thing holding all the squares together. But that's what their housing looks like. It's just a wooden square and these little kids sleep in that shit. And then, you know, they quit school because they can't afford, you know, to live, to eat. They don't have a home. You know, they're out on their own, 12 years old. That's the way of the world there. Nobody's fucking helping them. Nobody, you know, if you're worried about fucking kids in cages down at our borders getting treated like goddamn kings, what about these Fufu and Click Clack and whatever the fuck you want to call these poor kids? What about them? What about the fucking dent in the ozone layer that's right over that city? Nobody gives a fuck. But America, we gotta fucking quit using cars. Everybody's fucking house has to be all electric. We can't fucking, you know... Man. Gotta be fucked up. You know, you want to say that... Hey, your old lady owes me 2 blueberry fucking muffins. Sorry, folks. You said who and you on mic. That ain't good. Who else is your old lady? What, you fucking her mama too?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Alright, so back to what we were saying. Sorry, folks. So we got these fucking people pretty much living to die in this fucking dump. And nobody's doing dick. Nobody. Now, oddly enough, this ties into everything else that we're going to talk about. Just think about that right there. Just think about that's the biggest e-waste dump in the world. So, after I got done, you know, checking this shit out, I'm feeling pretty fucking depressed for these little kids. The last thing I did have, the one thing that disturbed me the most about the last documentary I watched, the one girl that they interviewed, she talked about when she finds a man and she falls in love and gets married, she's gonna have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. And she will make sure they learn that the burden that they put on their parents and how much they owe to, or not so much how much they owe to them as in like, you did all this for me. I love you. I owe you my heart or whatever. No, this is like, you got to fucking work for us. And this is a young girl who's been put in this fucking situation who knows, like, I don't even know how she thinks this is right, but you're going to indoctrinate the next generation that this is right? What? That's the problem. That's the fucking problem with the world. You want to stop a lot of this dumb shit that's going on? Fucking stop it. Don't fucking tell, oh, well, this was bad, but this is how you do it. No, don't even bring that shit up. This was a terrible fucking thing. Don't ever talk about it. Throw that shit in the closet. That bothered me. That was just as bad as the little kid sitting next to the green fire, burning up some fucking wires to get the copper out of it. That was fucking terrible, dude. I mean, because this poor girl is brainwashed to think that this is the way things are supposed to be. And she's walking back and forth, bringing bread, selling bread and shit, because her family couldn't afford to keep her. She was 16. She's lucky she ain't getting gang raped constantly, and it's only because she's bringing the food.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. And to think that it's normal, that's fucked up. Now, everybody is listening to me, in my kind of conspiracy on. I'm calling my own theories a conspiracy theory, so nobody, this wasn't right or that wasn't right. Yeah, no shit. That's why I'm saying it's a theory. No. Off rip said that this was a weapon. This coronavirus was a biological weapon. Off rip. I personally thought it had something to do with the IP theft and Huawei and all that shit. Which can't possibly, because all them high ups is all government ran and shit, so could have a little something in there. But, well, the first thing that's odd, everybody pissed and moaned about the president not taking the WHO's tests and shit for the coronavirus off the top, which were actually coming from China. They were coming from a contaminated fucking lab or wherever the fuck, a factory in China. So yeah, our president said, we don't want them. And we started making them here. Now we had to figure out how to make that shit here. And yeah, it didn't go the way, trial and error. We would have liked to have got it the first shot out. We didn't. That's what took so fucking long. That's what took so fucking long. And by that time, the WHO and everybody else have new batches of testing this and that. And we look like, we pussyfooted around. Didn't happen that way. Didn't happen that way at all. Now, Russia, and I got this from Russian news channels. Not only Russian news channels, but Al Jazeera too. That's the Sand People's news. Russia is sending over this huge fucking bomber full of ventilators and masks and all kind of shit to come help us, to the U.S., to help us. Now, Trump got bitched at for turning down the fucked up Chinese ones, even though we got beef with them. But it's already been proven that the Russians really ain't got no beef at all with us, except the same old normal shit that has always been going on. But we're going to get looked down on if we take these fucking supplies from Russia. They're already talking shit. They say, Russia got... Trump's in Russia's pocket. Didn't we just go through this a year ago? Jesus Christ. No, the fuck he's not. They're two presidents that apparently nobody fucking likes. And, they're the scapegoats for every fucking thing. Now, I'm not saying Trump is a fucking angel. He's not. And I'm sure as fuck not saying Putin's an angel. Putin's a fucking beast. But over the years, he's went from that KGB killer to a fucking pretty good leader. Fucking Russia's not doing too shitty. When I was growing up, Russia was in a bad way. Now you see Russia on any fucking news. Not even Russian news, American news, all that fucking... Russia's clean streets. There, you don't see the fucking poor hookers in the subways no more, or anything like that. I mean, fuck, even the fucking Russian brides that are far and few, and the ones that are there are expensive as fuck. I mean, you used to be able to buy a fucking wife for like $50-$100 back in the day. Now you 10 grand and that bitch gotta like you. Fuck you! I like my 10 grand. I'll find me an American hoe. Shit. Nah,
A lot cheaper.
Fucking right. Fucking right. So, Russia's sending us help, and now everybody's having a fucking fit about it. So, in the midst of me seeing this, I've seen a bunch of, how everybody's talking shit about Trump's taking too long to do this and that. My theory is, I wouldn't have believed y'all motherfuckers neither. Y'all been talking shit about me since before I became motherfucking president. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little sketchy on what the fuck you say. That ain't the case. You know, there is, reasonings behind the reason why everything took so long or whatever. What I found as far as facts go, it was about the testing and the contaminated tests. It was about not thinking it was going to hit here. No lie. Trump's not a fucking doctor. We all know that. And he's, like I said before, he's pretty much said he was wrong. And he's done everything in his fucking power up to this point to make up for that. We got half of New York bitching that there's taking out New York. And the other half of New York, we got, what was that Mayor Cuomo? Damn near tearing up on fucking thing. We need help. We need this and that. But you got de Blasio, another fucking, I think he's mayor, governor, one of them, of New York, saying we shouldn't be shutting shit down. This isn't as bad as everybody said. This and that. So now, who are we supposed to believe? Everybody wants to take Cuomo's side. You know why? Because his son is that motherfucker on the fucking news right now with Don Lemon, Frodo, whatever the fuck they called him. Mm-hmm. And he's positive.
Damn.
But you notice, all these celebrities, even them that lower level celebrity, who's got this? The Tom Hanks, the Idris Elba, all those are in the age brackets to be dead. Them motherfuckers look like Magic Johnson. They showed fucking Tom Hanks today, walking around in his front yard with his wife. It's been over 2 weeks. You positive. Why ain't you on some fucking breathing machine? Where's your ventilator? Just because you sat on the island with the fucking soccer ball don't mean that you could just magically fucking blow off the coronavirus.
Are you talking about Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Idris Elba, that motherfucker Heimdall from Thor Ragnarok. Idris Elba out there chilling. He got the corona. Why ain't these motherfuckers? You notice Charlie Sheen ain't got no corona. All right, but so there was a delay, and I have to say the people who are on it the most throughout the world was South Korea. South Korea was on it. I don't even know where they got these tests or how they knew to be ready for these tests or whatever, but South Korea was on it like a motherfucker. They was doing like anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 tests a day, drive-through style.
They got,
So why can't we get some of those tests?
They hit the lick on them and got them.
Why ain't somebody sending us those tests? Why ain't somebody sending us, and even in South Korea, the Koreas don't have this. One person, and Kim Jong popped his ass.
Yeah.
Gone.
That's why no one else said they had it. That's why no one died.
They ain't dropping dead. North Korea might not say nothing. North Korea might not say nothing. But South Korea, that's, pretty much a commonwealth of us now.
But
we would know.
They're so filled with shit in their jungles that the fucking corona ain't shit compared to what the fuck they do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this shit, Vietnam's right around there. They
get bit by a bug and pass out for 2 weeks and wake up like, what the fuck happened?
or just swell the fuck up,
Yeah.
eyes start bleeding.
Like what the fuck?
So, but there's something weird that I found out. That just like, do you remember in the whole impeachment thing where the Obama administration took in the one lady and pretty much trained her on how to respond to a UK, that whole UK phone call bullshit? She was trained. She even told us she was out there. She was against Trump. She was against everything. But she said that, you know, it was Obama and Biden and a couple of his staff members brought her in, and it was specifically damn near everything to the T of what happened in the whole impeachment thing. She was trained for that. Well, guess who else was trained for something very odd? Donald Trump, about a week or two before he got his inauguration or whatever, was pulled in by the Obama administration. And they said role played a scenario of a world pandemic and how to respond to that. Pulled in him and supposedly all the people that Trump got rid of. How the fuck did the Obama administration know this was going to happen? You know how they say Trump took down the rapid response, whatever the fuck that Obama put up there? He did that for supposedly Ebola, which Ebola was like 100 cases in America, if that, and nobody died.
Yeah.
So you put a rapid response pandemic team together in Washington for 8 years that did absolutely nothing. And that's what Trump said. Trump said, you know, a lot of these people have been on the payroll for years and years and years doing nothing. That's why he got rid of them.
Yeah.
And he said off rip, if we need them back, we will call them back. Why ain't they coming back? You know goddamn well somebody had to have called somebody over there. Why ain't they coming back? So, just something to ponder in the back of your head. Because also, where was it at? None of these people were needed. None of them. Until Trump got rid of them. That was another odd thing. You know, we didn't have none of this shit. You know, if you got a motherfucking a metric fucking wrench and you're working on nothing but, you know, standard fucking shit, the fuck you need that metric wrench for? You know, you might want to keep that shit on the side somewhere, but you don't carry that motherfucker with you all the time. You carrying you a fucking, you know, half inch, 3/4, whatever the fuck, some standard shit. So magically this pandemic hit. And somehow, like I said, not only did the Obama administration know about it, but we had afterward, and before, you know, after Trump was inaugurated, became president, but before this shit hit the fan, there was a lot of senators and congressmen who already know about this. Why didn't you tell somebody? Why didn't you tell the president? Why you bitching about he ain't, you know, act quick enough? If y'all motherfuckers knew about this shit, why didn't you tell somebody? Very odd. Very fucking odd there. So, and by no means am I defending the president on this. I'm just stating, you know, some facts there. Now, we'll go into some theories here. It's like, I found a lot of shit weird. Like I said, Russia's supposed to be sending us... Well, let's see. What we got going on? Do we want to do this now, or we want to take a quick break?
We've been on for almost an hour.
No, we've been on...
No, we've been on about a half hour. I got that running a little bit ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
We'll do another 15 minutes, so we go on a break. Now, you know, I had my own theories on this. You know, and I'm thinking... The only thing that didn't fit into the circle here was Italy. what the fuck? What's going on with Italy? Like, why? I could see ramifications on the whole China thing. I could see it in Iran. I could see it in all, these other handful of countries that are being hit really, really hard. You notice we ain't heard nothing about France. France, Germany, maybe a handful of people here and there. No fucking pandemic, and that's on that side of the world. So they just skipped over, the Eiffel Tower and whatever fuck. But on the other hand, even though Russia is sending us help, they're also the first to come out publicly and not only say that this is a biological weapon, but to say that they believe it came from the U.S.
Who did?
The Russians officials. Putin didn't come out and say it, but his biowarfare official did. So, not only does the Russians think that this is a biological weapon made by the Americans, but so does China. So does Iran. The only ones that are saying that this shit, and they got a plausible theory too. The Israelis are saying that this shit could have came from one of the labs in Wuhan because they were doing fucking experiments and shit with MERS and SARS and them types of coronaviruses, and something just could have got out with one of their techs or whatever. Plausible, but there's more facts supporting otherwise. So again, that leaves Italy out. But if you notice, everybody who got hit really hard with this shit are people that the United States got beef with.
Yeah.
We've had issues in Iran forever. Trump finally pulled out pulled out troops. The troops are at a minimum out there. They started acting a fool again. China, we had this big fucking trade issue with China going on. And the IP shit. Everybody knows the issues that everybody thinks America has with Russia. Russia's still the big fucking bad guy. When no, it's the Asians. It's fucking Asians. No, I can't even say Asians. It's the Chinese. Because the Japanese fucking love us and they can't stand them. They stopped their fucking roots through that shit. Like the Japanese, like back in the day when the Chinese was making the opium, the Japanese stopped that shit from going across that way, so they started sending it over the London ways and the UK ways. I looked that shit up in the history of fucking opium and meth. Because meth originated in, it came from, I believe, here. And then the Asians took it over there and fucking blew up in China. That's when motherfuckers was jumping out the windows and shit. The business people were giving them fucking free meth.
Yeah.
Because it made them more productive at work. Anyways. Yeah, so the Japanese don't really like them too much. But that still leaves Italy. The fuck happened to Italy? Like, why? Well, wow, everybody was busy fucking watching this impeachment bullshit, and everybody was just dogging our fucking president. Italy told America to go fuck themselves. Italy backed out of all trade agreements.
Yeah, well, I said they ain't allowed for us.
Italy, they used to be.
Yeah, I know.
Italy backed out of all whatevers with America and decided to join the Chinese New Silk Road. Now, the only time I ever heard of some Silk Road shit was like the deep web, and motherfuckers could buy anything from pussy to Hitman and shit like that.
Shit, like you would buy some young bitches.
What the name of the Silk Road originated back in the day. It was an old trade route that connected China to like Russia and Afghanistan, like the sand people in Africa and all that. It got shut down after a while but it was like a big route, and the reason why they called it the Silk Road is because that's where the first bit of silk actually was able to come to China. And I guess silk was a big thing back then or whatever.
It was.
So
Like the Persians and shit.
let's see, the Asians like silk, and the Spanish people like spices.
Yeah.
You notice that? Because Columbus was going to get spices for the queen. Who the fuck give you 3 motherfucking boats? God knows how many fucking hundreds of people to go get me some cinnamon.
Nah, they're looking for that pack. They're looking for all that.
I need me some oregano, some parsley, some cinnamon, and a bay leaf, bitch. Here's 3 boats. I'll see you in 20 years. Oh my God. Silly. So, back to this Silk Road thing. I had no clue what the fucking Silk Road thing was.
No,
Like, it baffled me. So I started looking into what the Silk Road is. The new Silk Road is an even bigger route that connects China to Russia. It's actually, there's 3 phases of it. One's they're building railways and streets and shit, like highways, through, to make this gigantic route. They're pretty much, what they're claiming is they're trying to do better trade and bring all of them countries over there together.
Yeah.
What some are saying, and what it sounds like, is they're starting a new world order. They're changing once they get that whole, route together, because they're going to be setting up shop everywhere, and everywhere that they, every part of this is going to be controlled by the Chinese, no matter what country it's in.
Yeah.
Because it's already happening in Sri Lanka and in Africa. So we're going to go back to the E-ways. So, if they make this route through, all of Europe, it's going to go from China all the way through, back around through the Sand People up to Africa. It's going to be a big circle. They're going to have, that's going to be the land route.
It's going to be a lot more
Then they're setting up ports all along the fucking coast now. So now they got a water route from China all the way to the Sand People and back. That is controlled by nothing but the Chinese. Not the African government, not the Egyptian government, not the Russian government or any of them. The Chinese. So, you got all these ports now. Now, not only can you set up trade, but you can set up military. Now you have military all along them ports. Third phase is digital. They called it the Digital Silk Road. That, I believe, is where you're going to find a lot of IP theft and stuff. They want to change everything. One, they want to change the currency. They want to go to their own cryptocurrency. Which right there, I don't know how many times throughout history, America went to war over that shit. The petrodollar, yeah, that's America's shit. And you can't trade gas or oil without it. Which is kind of fucked up. Because we didn't own the gas and we didn't own the oil, but we controlled the currency that lets you trade that shit.
Copyrighted that shit.
And when, when the Sand People try to fucking switch that over to a different money, a different currency, all of a sudden, we're going over there for oil. No, we're not going over there for oil. If we were going over there, and if we wanted oil, even Donald Trump just said not too long ago, and he said it very ignorantly, he was like, we go over there and take it.
Yeah.
He just said it. We can go over there and take it. We
don't
don't need it.
We ain't gonna be able to do that shit when fucking they all combine.
Exactly. But, we won't really need it because we got our own oil here. This is bigger than the oil, dude. So now, now you may think that this actually is good because a lot of these countries and a lot of these towns that these roads and these railways are going through and these industrial fucking plants are going into are in very poor countries. They're in very poor situations. So I think the one in Africa, the railway that runs through Ethiopia,
That motherfucker gonna be getting hit though. Shit.
no, dude, they are fucking, dude, they got that shit on lock. It's all Chinese. And remember, beginning of last year, Chinese redid their whole military, G.I. Joe style. Laser guns, like real deal laser guns. like that, like fucking real laser guns. We're still fucking around with the rail gun that Schwarzenegger brought out in that movie Eraser back in the 80s. and these fuckers got real deal G.I. Joe shit. So, I mean, yeah, them gorillas might be fucked. But see now, this is where the president of China was smart as fuck, dude. He didn't go to the already developed countries. He didn't go to the countries that had democracies. He didn't go to countries that had their shit together. What he went to was all the countries that were corrupt, all the countries that were poor, all the governments that barely had a nickel to stand on. And what he did was, how much money you want? He gave them all loans.
Giving them
Supposedly these loans were no strings attached. You know why these loans were no strings attached?
Why that?
Because if I know that you ain't got a job and you got a habit, and the only bit of money that you ever scrunch together takes care of that habit and not anything else, and I hand you $1,000, what happens? You ain't going to do what you need to do with that. That $1,000 is gone. You can't pay that back. So now what's yours is mine. So now, and it's already happened in Sri Lanka, the naval base that was in Sri Lanka, and this is how the U.S. got wind of all this shit, is now owned by Chinese for 99 years. Sorry. I don't know why they didn't just go for the 100. 99 years.
Okay.
Because they couldn't pay back the loan. And that's happening everywhere they're putting this road. All the way down to Ethiopia. The place in Ethiopia, there's a place in the Sandlot already, is on lease for 66 years. The other one, the Ethiopia, they're actually loving it down there because they had no in and out. You know, you had to ride a fucking zebra in and out of Ethiopia. That's where Sally Struthers was always sitting her fat ass down with the kids with the flies all around them, and fat bellies, little leg.
And then a bunch of cows and shit walking around.
Yeah.
Why are you starving?
Yeah. You know, there's ribs right there.
Everything you need. You can get a couple different fucking...
Now, all these poor folks now got jobs. You know, they went from maybe making 50 cents a day or 50 cents maybe a week to making $56 a month. Woo! But over there, that's a gold mine to them. $56 a month is the shit to them.
Yeah.
They're living life.
Mm-hmm.
So now Chinese are getting, they got this
1,000.
trade route going on and they're paying peanuts to these people. What is it? You know, if you take out supposedly helping people and the trade route theory and all this shit, he's taking over countries. You know, he's just not doing it militarily. He's doing it economically. If all this shit goes through, they said by 2030 it's supposed to be all implemented. China is going to own half the world. And the only people that are going to be able to even come close to battling with that is going to be the crown. And the crown is fucking falling apart. The U.S. is going to be pretty much fucked. Now, let's see. Yeah, we are about 20 after. Let's take a break and we'll get into the rest of this shit here.
All right.
Damn.
Bumbo!
Okay.
Alright, so we fucking back. So where do we leave off here? We left off on everybody, you know, the Russians, the Chinese, and the Iranians, and the Italians. I believe the last thing we talked about was the Italians telling the Americans,
Silk Road.
Yeah, the Silk Road. They got attached to the Silk Road. So we gonna just let that simmer in the head for a minute, because a new little subject just hit me, and I feel like I want to discuss this shit. First of all, everybody knows that I can't stand a bitch out there talking shit about a good dude, you know, and then be out there fucking doing the fucking hoe route. If he doing what he's supposed to be doing and you still out there doing the hoe route, you got no right to be talking shit about that motherfucker. Dumb bitch, shut the fuck up. That goes for dudes and chicks. You know, if you just out there doing the thing, you know you wrong. Don't be dogging a motherfucker that's still taking care of your ass. That's just fucking ignorant. I hate that shit with a passion. With a passion. That being said, when your ass become homeless for going the whole route, and somebody is kind enough to be taking your homeless ass in, you don't be acting like that house is yours. Yeah, I don't understand how that is even possible. You know, and then if you think you helping out by putting a little bit of food in the fridge and you ain't paying no rent or bills or anything, yeah, your babysitting ain't helping, and neither is your chicken wings, bitch. Shut up and get your ass to the basement. That's just a PSA. If the shoe fits on that ass, strap that bitch up and wear it. And if it don't, then don't pay it no mind. Back to the conspiracy theory. Well, wait a minute. Any elaboration from the crew?
Nope.
No.
All right.
No.
And shout out to all them motherfuckers that got to deal with them assholes out there that, you know, they may seem like they the shit in public, but they ain't nothing but a dirty cunt behind the closed doors. Yeah, I know. I've lived it. Alrighty, so back to these whole conspiracy things. So we got the Silk Road going. We noticing around the world that the only folks that are getting this shit really, really bad is people that America got beef with. You know, this Silk Road, I mean, I could see from one perspective that this is pretty much an army taking over land, just in a kind of like a passive-aggressive way. You know, they're, like I said, the people in Africa are making $56 a month, but the Chinese people who are running it, these are like the employees there are making $56 a month, and they're fucking loving it. But they also see the unfairness, which, you know, in a way, you ungrateful motherfucker, be happy with your $56. I know it's fucked up, but if you could fucking feed your family on $56 a month, if the economy is that fucking bad over there that you could do that, then that $56 might as well be $5,600. You know, how the fuck you afford an apartment, afford a kid, afford an old lady, afford your bills, and afford to feed yourself on $56? That's some shit right there. So, I see both sides of it. I think it's fucked up. Only $56. Hell, I think, my fucking kids was making that shit just in chores and stuff back in the day. So, but the Chinese people over there, like they showed the one girl. Now the Chinese that run it stay on site. Like they stay at the plants, or they stay at the railroad station, or they stay at wherever they're at. They have housing there for them. They showed this one lady, young girl, as an example. She was one of the managers of one of the places out there. And she made, I think, $2,600 a month. Which is still kind of, that $2,600 a month? That's like borderline, well, I know chicks who live in the projects, got 3 kids making that shit off welfare. I mean, hell. But it ain't all about that. To a lot of folks, this is nothing to do with the money. It has everything to do with the control of land and the power. China sucking up all these little countries, becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, like Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, as far as I always at least thought, my perspective of it, that was like a Russian, Czechoslovakian type, really, really white type like deal there. And now that Sri Lanka is Asian. It's Chinese. I can't even say Asian. It's Chinese. Like, and it's all, Now, I thought about what you said, Corey, about the whole thing down in Africa. Because they do. I mean, they got their pirates down there. They got but that's who they're hiring. Not only do they got this beefed up Chinese military presence, because they got tanks outside the fucking the train stations, but they have they're hiring these guerrillas. Remember, they're going into these corrupt places.
Yeah,
these corrupt governments.
So
over. If I got, if this whole city is full of pirates, and I want a badass naval port.
Oh yeah.
What do? Do I want to fight these people?
Oh no, they.
Nah. Look, man, you making maybe $1,000 a year, fucking robbing these boats. Americans taking y'all out. French people taking y'all out. The Arabs are taking y'all out. Why don't you just come work for us? You train our guys. We'll give you all kind of souped up weapons. Teach you our language. And we'll pay you a steady paycheck enough that you can fucking live without having to worry about getting shot or sniped out the fucking water. What you gonna do? I'm gonna turn in my fucking little fucking bandana and eye patch for a motherfucking Chinese fucking military outfit.
In a rifle.
And I'm eating fucking rice and fucking egg rolls, not fucking mud and whatever the fuck I find with the green puddles that are on fire.
Yeah.
And that goes to the circle, because this trade route will also make that big eco fuckery out there even a bigger problem, because now they're trying to stop like a lot of this e-waste from coming in, because it's being shipped in on boats, and now that they're trying to get a little better at it, they're doing old school smuggling type shit. They'll like put the good computers and stuff, like maybe 3 or 4 or 5, rows of good computers up in the back of the fucking truck, so when you open it, you see it there, and then all the front is filled with trash. And, they're so laxed out there and shit that, all these fucking people out here say they want less government. They want more lax government. That's what the fuck, that's the perfect example of what lax government gives you. You want to lax, we don't need government. We don't need this and that. Yes, the fuck you do, or you end up with some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm not for over government, but you got to have somebody saying, hey, you can't do it. You got to do your part in your community, in your life. But somebody else out, there's got to be an overall thing. You ain't going to be everywhere. You can't take care of everything yourself. Nobody can. That's why we have a government like that. Now, it ain't perfect, but you ain't got that shit, $56 a month. You ain't got pirates now running your navy. You don't have Asians just fucking wiping out your country. And they're doing it in a way that they're like doing it Nino Brown style. You know, they're feeding them crumbs, acting like, you know, they the fucking Robin Hood, while they're taking up their land, you exploiting their fucking work. You know, a lot of these people are saying, man, fuck that, $56, I was just making a chicken for a week. This dude paid me a chicken and 3 rats for the month. This motherfucker gave me enough to go, I don't even know what them golden arches is, but I'm going to eat me one of them big whatever the hell those are called. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, guys are going from living in a fucking dirt hut like Obama's family to living in a fucking, you know, apartment like the projects. You know, it might not be the best, but you ain't worried about a tiger eating you. So, I mean, so now we got this ecological fuckery. We got all these people thinking that this is good. They're taking over that side of the world. If you want to look at it that way. If you want to look at it from the good side, you know, they're actually helping out and they're bringing a lot of these third world countries to a little bit better economies, a little bit better, you know, this and that. So, depends on which side of the aisle you're on it. Because, it you know, also it can bring, you know, with the trade, it brings multiculturalism, you know, it brings a lot of good things with it. But, do the good outweigh the bad? 90% of the time it doesn't. You know, easiest way to start this whole coronavirus shit again is that Silk Road. Starts China all the way around. It ain't even got to bob and weave through shit. It's already there. So what does all this got to do with the fuck I was talking about? Well, America has always been the bullies. I love my country, America. But, you know, they've always been the bullies.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about they don't like regime change. What the fuck we've been doing all these years? We've been controlling pretty much the world in our favor. Anybody who opposes us, we pretty much stomped on, and the ones that we couldn't stomp on, you know, we bluffed them out and pretty much said, all right, we're tied. You know, because ultimately back in the day it was Russia and the U.S. You know, nuclear arms, this and that. Now, how the fuck one of the richest countries in the world and one of the so-called poorest countries in the world still tied militarily and trade-wise and all that shit in the world? In the fucking world. Something don't make sense there. Another thing that kind of fucks me up, this whole stimulus package that these fucking Democrats and liberals did the fuck-ola to. You know, it went from, what was it, 3.6 billion or something like that. It was no more than the border wall. And all that money was going to the people. It was no fucking, you know, two things were going to get bailed out. Airplane companies and the boat companies. Okay, if we only going to bail them two out and everybody in the rest of the country going to get something, I mean, there was going to be no, everybody was going to get something. No, Democrats couldn't have that. Now, this bill that the Democrats put out there is like 2 point something trillion, which estimated over I think 4 years, they said will actually be $6 trillion. That is literally more money that there is in the world, in the fucking world. Rubles, knaps, whatever the fuck you want to call them, you know, gold coins. That is more money in the world. Like the one dude, one of the scientists said that to give you a perspective on how much $6 trillion is, if you stacked it all the way up, you could make it to the fucking moon and back. Yeah. That's how much $6 trillion is. Do you want to know how much this spice or Silk Road is going to cost? $2.4 trillion. These motherfuckers are taking over half the world with $2.4 trillion. What the fuck are we doing with this $6 trillion? Like, this doesn't even exist. You know, you know how much the printing machines would have to go fucking ape shit for this money to literally be tangible. You know, and then when money like this supposedly disappeared in the past, it was always the black budget thing. It's always like the so-called, if you want to go to UFO things, It went to like the secret fucking planes that we got, you know, the secret subs, all type of shit there.
Yeah.
If that was the case, fine. Fuck it. You know, you do what you gotta do. Save us from the aliens, the Chinese, the Mexicans, whoever the fuck you gotta do. Fine. Make sure the people get theirs. No. They listed. I read everything all this bullshit is going to. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. There's no reason why the Opera House should be in this fucking bill. There's no reason why the illegal migrant, whatever the fuck, should be in this bill. There's no fucking reason why, what was that other, overseas or other country development, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, we can't be
What
building
the
it.
fuck does that got to do with my grandma sitting in a hospital needing a fucking ventilator? And I can't get her fucking meds because I've been out of work for fucking 4 weeks now. Gonna get kicked out of my house because, you know, I can't even say half. A good 80% of these landlords don't give a fuck about what, you know, the president or the governor said. They taxing you or you gotta get the fuck out. Did you hear that shit? I want to know what your thoughts is on this.
No, I wasn't even
We got this
here.
stimulus bill.
Okay.
All right. Supposed to be $2.2 trillion, which over, I believe, the period of 4 years, with after all the fucking bullshit and everything, is going to come up to $6 trillion. Now,
Okay.
the scientist that I watched, you know, who was explaining some of this shit, said to put it in perspective, if you would take stacks of, you know, dollar bills, or I forget what denomination he said. It really wouldn't fucking matter because $6 trillion literally does not exist in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In the world, that money does not exist. That's just you know, you might as well have said, you know, we'll give you fucking Happy Land too. We got unicorns there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that money doesn't exist. It just doesn't.
Okay.
So, again, $6 trillion. If you stacked it all the way up, you can make it to the fucking moon and back. On dollar bills.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk up them, huh?
Now, I've been talking for almost 2 hours now about the Silk Road.
Okay.
Do you know how much it costs to take over half the world?
No.
$2.4 trillion. What the fuck are we doing with $4 trillion, dude? Like, you can take over half the world for a fraction, like a third of that. The Asians are doing it. You can't tell me I'm full of shit. This is not a conspiracy theory. This part is fucking real. $2.4 trillion. You can take over from China to the Sandlot to the fucking the blackest part of fucking Africa. 2.4. We can't feed we can't give motherfuckers $1,200. $1,200. Really? We need $6 trillion over 4 years. And a lot of these motherfuckers, you know, the bill the Republicans put out, that was just money. The president said these people need help, take this shit. That was it. He was going to bail out 2 companies. I talked about it before, the cruise lines and the airports. And, you know, people are bitching about their whole big companies. First of all, you dumb fucks out there who don't like the big corporations, who do you think are fucking giving everybody the jobs? You know, they may be getting more money. They might be exploiting your ass. But I'm sorry you're not making $56 a month. Shut the fuck up. These corporations are the backbone of this fucking country. I mean, there are a lot of these, you know, you see, especially now, you know, the essential people are a lot of these hands-on people, a lot of these skilled workers, but they work for corporations. You know, a hospital is a corporation. You know, these big fucking like places that are the auto repair places are fucking corporations. You know, oh, the corporate, you're bailing out this big corporation, bailing out that big corporation. But when Obama bailed out fucking GM, Oh, that was the shit. Yay! What did they do with that money? They told Lordstown to go fuck themselves and moved it right over the fucking border. And that Marion Barra, whoever that cunt is, you know, she owns it and she's running, but that bitch is a fucking cunt, dude. Oh my god. Jackie saw it, seen her face to face. Oh my god. Don't give a fuck about anything but money, dude. They were supposed to negotiate. It was one of the last few negotiations on the fucking trying to keep the plant open.
Yeah.
And she walked through and there was all kind of news and shit. And she turned around right before she walked in the door. She was like, don't expect anything to change. So she wasn't going in there to try, there was a big publicity thing.
Yeah.
And they denied making the president was trying to make up a deal with them to make ventilators for this bullshit. And nope. Nope. I'm sorry, but fuck GM. Fuck anything from 2018 on. Fuck GM. Fuck them rides. And fuck anybody who fucking thinks GM is the shit anymore. Them fucking people fucked over each and every one of their fucking loyal fucking people. A lot of them had cake jobs, but a lot of them had to fuck. They had families. Why are you gonna hate on a good job that the corporation put there? Yeah. We all aspired to go to fucking. That was like a dream of ours. We're supposed to grow up, get out of high school, go work at either at the steel mill or in Lordstown. That was making it around here.
Yeah.
And then we had people, they got bailed out and they shouldn't have got this and that, or they got this big cake job and they weren't doing this and that. Why are you hating? I don't believe in that bailout just because, in hindsight 2020, I felt like, hey, you need to keep that shit rolling. But now I really feel, I changed my stance on that. They didn't need that bailout because that cunt just fucking took that bailout and used it to pack her fucking bags and bail on this country. Fuck her. Fuck her. Fuck her. Fuck her. Oh my god. You know how much of my fucking family got fucking put under because of that cunt? Huh. Wow, that just totally went the wrong way on this. Alright, so back to 2.4. You can take over half the world. $2.4 trillion.
Yeah.
And like I was telling Corey, back in the day, when some money like that came up missing, remember every so many years Pentagon money come up missing, or somebody paid like $10,000 for a fucking ink pen or some shit like that. That's been going on forever. We always knew that was going to black budget shit. That was going to secret airplanes, supposedly UFO shit. That was going to subs. That was going to. Okay, if that was it, fucking fine. If they would have just came up and been like, it's classified what we're doing with this. I'm sure that it would be like, I wonder what that is. But we would have known it was some shit that is most likely military, but in the long run, we got some shit that's gonna make sure we okay. No, you heard, I read that whole fucking bill where all that fucking money is going to. Opera houses and fucking illegals and $15 million to the fucking vets, and you're sending $300 million to the illegals? Fuck y'all, man. Fuck y'all. If you could find some way of explaining that to me that isn't a bunch of fucking horseshit that I want to punch you in the mouth with, I challenge anybody. Dude, that right there, above all that horseshit in that bill, that really fucked me up. If you were gonna dump all this shit in this fucking bill, you're gonna put the vets under the opera house. Under the fucking opera, the Smithsonian, the fucking museum. They got their fucking money and they shut down, dude.
Wow.
I seen that on the fucking news. I was like, really? Really? Shut down. And they got a big old chunk of money. More than the vets. Dude, to clean the Capitol building got more money than the vets. To clean. That blows my fucking mind. It blows my mind.
Up.
sick, man. Ooh. All right, so again, you think about that shit. First of all, we're gonna go like I gave you the facts about, or at least the facts that's been put out so far about the reason why Trump took so long to act on this virus. And then he kept saying that it wasn't gonna be that bad, it wasn't gonna be that bad, and he pretty much blew it off. One, like I said, you know, he was kind of prepped for this. Now, whether he was told it was gonna happen, or whether he was told, you know, like, actually, all right, this is a scenario, which is very, I mean, there's too many coincidences to say that this was just a made-up scenario. You know, because each and every one of them places that was hit by this pandemic virus in the role-playing that they called it, was what the fuck's getting hit now. So, I mean, there was just way too much coincidences there. Not only that, but, like I said, everywhere this place is hitting hard is places that the U.S. don't like. Places that we've had beef with. You know, said it earlier, we've had issues with Iran. We got our soldiers out of there. They started fucking up. You know, we figured out how Italy fucking stood in this whole thing. We figured out how, you know, the Chinese are a part of this whole situation. And if you want to get it a little bit deeper and personal, right here home, who's been giving the most shit to Donald Trump? Which two states? The same two motherfucking states that are the epicenters of this coronavirus. New York and California. Now, I'm a Trump supporter, but
no,
it really sounds like this nigga taking out his enemies. You know, he's seeing the Asians trying to take over that. This is kind of like I said, my whole theory on the Nazis and the Muslims. You know, everybody talked down on the Nazis. Everybody talked shit about they were so bad, this and that. And they were racist. Nah, they were after Jews. They were after Jews. You know why? Because nobody likes to fucking talk about it, and it's not in a lot of history books. But all them same people, once upon a time, they were all the same people. They were all, there wasn't no separation. They didn't, you know, and what they were doing was going from village to fucking village and picking up their armies bigger and bigger, but they were doing it on horses and camels with fucking swords cutting off heads if you oppose that shit. Hitler saw that shit. The Reich saw that shit. They were taking over the world from that end of the fucking world, so he amassed this fucking army and was headed towards them and was taking out the fucking Jews. And it wasn't the the white Jews that we see over here in New York or whatever. You know, that's all what they always portray. You know, first of all, those Hasidic Jews, that shit is some made up shit that was way afterwards. There wasn't Hasidic Jews in America or Hasidic Jews here, you know, over on the other side of the world yet. The Jews were sand people. You go there now. Them people, you know, praying to whoever the fuck they're praying to. They're on their knees and they all got a better tan than me. You know, the few ones that you did see there, now that they shut down, they did travel restrictions, you don't see them no more. You see like a handful of the really whitey white ones with the little curls down the side of their head, little beanie on the back of their shit. No real Jew wears a fucking beanie. A real Jew wears a camouflage fucking beret and has a goddamn M16. AK, I'm sorry. That's a real fucking Jewish person. Jerusalem. Look at the folks. They're riding around in Mercedes-Benz and got a fucking AK chilling on the front seat. They ain't gangbanging. They're going to the store. So, I mean, so how we know Trump don't see the Chinese doing the same thing and being, you know, America the bully? Stop it. Yeah. Well, Trump ain't about war. Trump ain't about missiles. He ain't about shooting folks. What Trump is about is hitting your pocket, hitting your economy, and hitting your fucking people, your towns. You know, all the litter box that got decimated worse by the tariffs than ever by our bombing them motherfuckers over there. You know, they got nice houses in there that people can't live in. There's, you know, people are out on the streets. People can't fucking feed their families. And why? Because these Iranians and all these people want to act a fool. They said, fuck America. Well, yeah, America is supplying your ass with this. You may have this, but we don't need oil anymore. You know, and Trump is against opium and all that shit, so we don't need your dope anymore. You know, cocaine has made this fucking way through. The heroin has been cutting down. So, I mean, you know what Trump don't like. He don't like the fucking dope. So the opium was coming from over there in the litter box. The oil was coming from the litter box. We don't need either one of them motherfuckers. None of it. So we take everything that we had, all our help, all our fucking, you know, our hospitals that we, you know, had going on out there, all our fucking humanitarian aid and shit. We take that all away. Oh, your country can't make it now. Shouldn't have been dickheads. I mean, it fucking sucks it gotta be that way, but hey, that's the way fucking it rolls. You know, you can't go into somewhere and, you know, somebody's helping you and you don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's it. That's the easiest way to explain it. You don't fucking bite the hand that feeds you. And we're fucking learning that shit with China right now with our medicine. Because Big Pharma, nobody wanted these big companies, you know. Obama sent all that shit to be fucking, you know, all our fucking pills, all our fucking medicines. Nothing's made here in America. Especially our antibiotics. We have no antibiotics made in America. All that shit has to be shipped in. From where? China. And Xi Jinping or Ching Chong Ching, whatever the fuck his name is, has already came out and said, we can cripple you guys right now. We'll stop the flow of your medicine. That one thing. They can keep, you know, sending over Nintendos, and they can keep sending over the iPads and the iPods. What the fuck is that going to do when your ass is going to die from syphilis? or chlamydia? How you going to feel when a shot of penicillin would have just, you know, one day your shot of penicillin would have been fine? Nope. 3 years, you got some kind of weird fucking dementia, brain damage, shit is eating up your spine, you know, from chlamydia. Chlamydia took you out. That's worse than the coronavirus. How you die? How you look your God in the face and be like, the pussy was good.
The comedian sucked.
I mean, at least they got some kind of drugs to suppress AIDS.
Yeah.
You know, and that problem, well, no, you get them in Mexico. You know, we talked about that. You know, the people in Arizona and Texas, the health insurance places, the people with private health insurance were actually, not only were their medicine paid for, but they were given a certain amount of money to fly over, and they paid for the private jets too, to fly over to Mexico to buy their fucking meds. And they were, I forget what they were calling it. It was some kind of a mini vacation thing or whatever. They show all these people and they're getting on these private fucking jets. And I mean, it's only like maybe an hour fucking flight. You know, you're just kind of just jumping over, waiting fucking however long it takes for everybody to go to the pharmacy and coming back and still make it out. You know, that is the one thing that people are just going to have to fucking suck up. The big corporations, especially Big Pharma, is about to blow up again back in the U.S. And everybody's supporting it because everybody's fucking paranoid about not having medicine now, not having ventilators, not having all this medical equipment and supplies. Which, yeah, you're right. You know, Big Pharma was fucking folks with all these fucking drugs and shit. You know, the Vicodins and the fucking Oxys and all that. You can't tell me these motherfuckers didn't know they was just legal dope dealers. We all fucking know it. We know it. Hindsight's 20/20. A lot of people got fucked up from that shit, and they didn't even know. You know, that's what I can really, you know, even with coronavirus or smoking or anything else. That first wave, even the second one, and I'm saying wave like in generations. So you're going 20 years apiece at minimum. Them first two, they didn't know. You can't down them. Now anything afterward, after you found out, you got 2 generations, 40 fucking years of results. You got 40 fucking years of people dying. You got 40 fucking years of proof that this shit is no good. Then you got no fucking excuse to take that, for you being addicted to something or you dying from something. I know. Look, this cigarette got the front of my cigarette say, "Warning: cigarettes are not safe." Or cigars are not safe alternative to cigarettes. They're cigars, sorry guys. On the side, it says Surgeon General warning. Says these is no good. All over it. Says these is no fucking good. But you know what? I'm about to light up my cigarette. Yeah. I am informed. That's like back in the early 80s, late 70s when the crack hit the scene. Cats were doing cocaine. They couldn't afford to be big, addicted to cocaine, So that was mainly a rich people's drug. When crack hit the fucking scene, it was like, oh, this is kind of like cocaine. We didn't know we'd be sucking dick in 3 weeks for this shit. But, after the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and you're a crackhead, motherfucker, you're a crackhead. You knew what that was going to do. Heroin goes back to the Yum Yum houses in China. Guys were living in fucking dressers. That shit that Kramer had going on in Seinfeld where he had them Asians and it was in a big dresser? That's what a Yum Yum house was. Now, this day and age, if you're addicted to fucking heroin, nigga, that was your choice. I'm sorry. I mean, it might have been a fucked up decision. You might have been in a bad way, but that was your choice. I hope you fucking deal with your issue. That ain't no life to live, but fuck, you can't blame that on nobody. I mean, when I was younger, man, I did a lot of dumb shit, and I justified it over a girl, and I look back at it like, you stupid motherfucker. And if I'd have fucking ended up in some bad place, that wouldn't have been nobody's fault. It sure as fuck wouldn't have been the girl's fault. You know whose fault it was? My dumb ass. What was I supposed to do? You're supposed to say no, motherfucker. That's what you're supposed to do. My grandpa told me not to bring that hoe up into his house. I should have listened.
He knew what he was talking about.
Like, oh, my grandpa, ignorant as fuck. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. I was warned. I was fucking warned. So I can't piss. The only thing I can bitch about is I should have listened. That's the only thing I can bitch about. I can't bitch about anything else that happened because I was warned.
I need to slap my goddamn self.
Not only was I warned, I was handed damn near a garbage bag full of rubbers. My boy, him and his old lady, Tawan. I forget who his girlfriend was at the time, but Tawan went to fucking Planned Parenthood and got me this big old gay... sorry, that's not homophobe, it's just the way it was back then. But this big ass gay, amount of fucking gay, meaning a whole lot of rubbers.
How the
Different
hell?
colored rubbers.
That is not a measurement.
No. You ever been in a gay bar? On the fucking bar, no. There is like cauldrons, like witches' cauldrons full of rubbers.
Wow.
Yeah, I have.
I'll take your word for it.
I seen it. You need rubbers. You go to a gay spot real quick, just walk in that motherfucker and be like, oh.
They might not let me out.
I'll buy me a Hey, look, I've been in many a gay bar.
Like, I needed to
buy me a drink. Shit. I accept a drink just like a bitch would accept a drink. and just like a chick, when I'm done drinking or you done feeding me alcohol, oh, I gotta go. My old lady's calling me.
Word.
Ladies, all y'all motherfuckers have done it at one point in time in your lives. You done sat at the motherfucking bar broke as fuck. My grandma used to do it. My grandma go to the bar broke as fuck with my cousins. Come back drunk as hell. These two sober bitches over here next door. Oh no, our grandma got so drunk, she even got $10 in her bra. And that ain't no lie. My grandma was a G. But that's the example. You know, every woman at one point in time has went to a bar and just let a dude fucking feed her full of drinks and then turn around and be like, oh, I gotta go home. My husband is waiting for me, or my boyfriend is outside. You know, he came to pick me up, or you dirty bitch. I'm about $40 in the shots in the old.
Let me go out there and get my 40 bucks. All right, man, you should take a break because we're coming up on the last hour here.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about the biowarfare shit and how this, you know, all kind of bleeds together and kind of makes you think a little bit. So we'll be back here shortly.
Boy. Yeah. You know, cats be claiming they got swag, right? But I don't see it, no. False swagger. Cats be rapping about something they ain't got, you know what I'm saying? But I'm fly. I'm hood fly. I'm a certified block boy, you understand me? We about to get into it right here. Strict general, salute. Let's get it. I go hard. I get it. I can't lose. I just win. And why y'all mad? I can see it in your eyes that you hate my swag. I'm fresh. Gon' get your swag that hate on. I'm fly. Gon' get your swag that hate on. And why y'all mad? I can see it in your eyes that you hate my swag. 'Cause I'm me.com etc. More than a monster. Swagger just beast. Heat be. And the arms reach if it need be. Crease these haters with the iron, leave them scheming. See me working that wrist till it's creamy. Living life in the fast lane and I'm speeding. Need it. Hunger for more, gotta feed it. There's not enough for me to say that I succeed. Looking like the freeway, easy. DB, living straight, shooter so breezy. Gone with the wind, yeah, them things got me breezy. Chiefin', I'm so damn high, I can't reach. I go hard, I get it in. I can't lose, just win. And why y'all mad? I can see it in your eyes that you hate my swag. I'm fresh, gon' get your swag that hate on. I'm fly, gon' get your swag that hate on. And why y'all mad? I can see it in your eyes that you hate my swag. Youngstown and shut it down, I know you feeling me. K&P, Park Exchange, by
So I guess our YouTube
there it goes.
shit. We back.
Yeah, we're back, yeah.
Yeah, we back like a motherfucker. After the
Fuck
YouTube
it.
back too?
Yeah.
Well, all right. All right, so we're going to get back to this bio-warfare because, you know, it's kind of hard to believe that this would be done. But you got to think Americans have been using biological warfare since they got here in America. People love to say that, you know, and this is a lot of, you know, this goes back into the racism against white folks. People love to point out the fact that the American soldiers purposely gave the Native Americans blankets with smallpox on them.
Probably. I would have.
Biological warfare. Now, the Native Americans sent back to Europe syphilis. A very, very comparable disease. Nobody talks about that.
No, that's why
You know, I always
got
thought it's like syphilis came from like the Asians eating the cats and shit because it's kind of a venereal type disease that the cats get, but when you eat the cats, but you know this, I believe it was syphilis, but I could be wrong. You might want to look that up. It was some kind of fucked up disease though. I want to say it was syphilis though, but the Native Americans sent that shit back to Europe.
I think
You know,
yeah.
everybody wants to talk about Americans giving the Native Americans or the Pilgrims giving the Native Americans smallpox with the blankets, but nobody talks about, you know, Pocahontas giving a motherfucker syphilis and sending that shit back around the way. You know, remember Jack the Ripper, that whole story? You know, Prince's son had syphilis, losing his fucking mind, was fucking a horse. Queen had all these fucking people killed. Oh, sorry, Jack the Ripper killed all these people to try to find his baby because, you know, can't have a bastard kid to the throne. Yeah, that's the story of that shit. Syphilis.
Syphilis.
So, I mean, and then we go, you know, later on in life, I mean, Americans been using biological warfare and shit forever. Like, here's one that I just know for a fact, like, it was an accident. We were developing it. Lyme disease. That was developed on Plum Island. And the ticks that they experimented on, I forget what, the deer ticks? I think they're deer ticks. They were experimenting on, got out. And where they first hit when they got to the mainland across the water was the county of Lyme. That's fucked up how it got its name, Lyme disease. Yeah. So, I mean, we've been doing this shit for years, so we can't say that we ain't never, you know, people didn't know we was doing biological warfare and shit like that. You can't get, I mean, we know. Look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something I didn't know. The U.S. had its own biological warfare program. Now, we all kind of say, it kind of seems like we should have that or no shit, but no, we're, there's supposed to be, I don't know what the treaty is, but we ain't supposed to be, nobody's supposed to be using biological agents or anything like that during warfare. Again, you know, under them, we got to listen to the rules, but ain't nobody else going to do that shit. I mean, we saw that with, fuck, we used it in Nam, Agent Orange. Of course. But I think maybe that treaty was after Nam. Either way, I mean, we've been doing that shit forever. But the program started, I believe, in 48. And it ended in 69. And in that 20 years, in that fucking 20 years, all these diseases that, I'm not gonna lie, I thought they was just some natural shits that popped up here and there or whatever. One in particular bothers me because not only did my grandkids have it, my kids had it. That hand, foot, and mouth disease. that was actually a biological weapon against agriculture, against farm animals. And it was contractable to humans. And then humans spread that shit. The plague was bioengineered by Americans. There was a whole list. You know, the documentary I seen on this was it was a lawyer talking. It was actually about if it's legal for the country to be quarantined or how they could get around the whole martial law thing. This whole, I mean, the one thing that I did not see on here, and I was talking to Greg earlier, it's really weird, because I would like to know who created it. The U.S. holds the patent, look this shit up, on AIDS, HIV. You know, the U.S. holds the patents on a lot of diseases and viruses and shit like that. But specifically, my generation, AIDS was the big thing. That was the big fucking thing when we were little. You know, that shit was, you know, hit its its peak or whatever through the early mid-90s or whatever. All that shit. Even though we have the patent on it, we didn't make that shit. It wasn't natural. It was made. But I haven't found anything saying where it came from. Who made that shit? What made that shit? You know, it was because we hold the patent, it was kind of implied that the U.S. made it. But no, because in the patent things, it tells you who makes it. It gives you the breakdown, the molecular breakdown and all that shit. I mean, they get pretty in-depth in patent shit. So, we made all this shit. The bird flu. You know, we thought the bird flu was some Chinese shit. Nope, Americans made that. Now, mind you, this place closed in 69. So this shit's been around for years. I literally watched it was a very, very old school Disney-ish type style black and white film down here with Corey while we were prepping for the show. And they were showing the experiments they were doing. It was like they didn't give a fuck back then. They just put everything on the TV. They showed the biological weapon fucking how experiment place. They showed these kids, these soldiers who volunteered, going into this fucking little cubicle type deal. Each one's face strapped to this gigantic fucking round ball type. It looked like a half a ball bowl type deal, sealed off. And they had cameras inside this motherfucker. They gassed these kids. They hit them and they said biological warfare agents. They wouldn't even tell you what it was. The motherfuckers who weren't strapped in, who were inside the little room observing, had masks on. These kids didn't have no fucking masks on. They had their face in this shit. They were showing it. I mean, they were showing it. Lord knows what which is very odd. Another thing that goes against that whole racism against white folks. But supposedly the U.S. was only did most of their experiments on black folks and shit. You know, the Tuskegee thing was real, but, you know, wasn't all just, you know, that was kind of an isolated incident. That wasn't all the way around. I mean, there was only one black kid and all these soldiers. The rest of them were white kids. And I bet you they were fucking happy there wasn't no more black. Tyrone was probably like, fuck that! I go to Tuskegee. At least they got to fly airplanes. These kids is in their drawers sucking up gas. It ain't even weed smoke.
You fucked up, man. That's terrible.
Dude, I mean, you listened to it?
Yeah, I know.
It sounded like Walt Disney himself was narrating. It sounded like Walt Disney himself was narrating that shit.
He did.
So, I mean, that kind of gives more validity to this shit is coming from us. Now, there is the report that I read about the dudes getting arrested from the lab in North Carolina. I've seen another report. The Russians said that it was made in the lab in Georgia. So, Could have been in Georgia or Russia. But, see, this is kind of another thing that kind of swings towards us doing this. We set up all our supposedly, there's no biological labs, like warfare labs, left in America. So, the Georgia and the North Carolina thing kind of throw it out the water, unless they just said it was a biohealth lab or whatever. They could just say it was a medical facility. They were working on different shits. That's semantics.
Mm-hmm.
But the city of Wuhan, its suburbs, is surrounded by American biological warfare labs. American ran, not corporate, like government. American government, like the outskirts, wherever, the Asians ain't controlling, there's American labs, like, around there. Biolabs. Like, and not the medical, they are the warfare ones. So, put all this shit together, man, and it's not looking real good for old Donald there. I mean, kinda, if it works and he don't get implemented in this shit. But this is some fuckery that ain't no phone call hiding, no the server fucking destroying, no shredding of any kind of documents that's gonna help his ass out of this, if this is real. Now a lot of people are wondering how martial law could be implemented. A lot of people are panicking because of the martial law thing. I didn't panic about it, but I was very pissed off about it because we are a foot in the door of martial law as we speak. I was telling Greg this earlier. Martial law can be implemented, and it can be implemented through the Public Health Service Act, Section 361. Now, under that act, a medical quarantine can be issued. But it's not issued by the president. It's not issued by the governors or by the mayors. They are allowed to do it if this person says they can do it. The U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the head of welfare. This person has that authority. I don't know how that fucking worked out that way. It goes back to some old law. Because that's what this is. That never got taken off the books. The only thing that can be changed in this is you can add diseases to it. But you could shut down the country over any communicable disease. And this goes anything from typhoid fever to whooping cough to hemorrhaging, whatever the fuck. The one big thing that bothered me, and I'm sure motherfuckers is tired of hearing me talk about it, is the fucking plague!
Fucking plague.
But, it was okay to let all these fucking illegals just flood through, and the plague was here, but you can't shut down the fucking border. No, you can't shut the border. We're allowed to shut our country down for the coronavirus that is looking more and more like we done did. Then some shit that came across the border. The Mexicans don't have coronavirus. They got Corona beer. You know what they do have? They got the fucking plague. I didn't even think it could be over on this side. I thought that was a predominant... Here, this is racist as fuck. I thought this was a predominantly white fucking disease. You don't hear about the plague ever hitting Africa. You don't ever hear about the plague in Aztec times or the Mayans dying of the plague. No, you hear King Arthur died of the plague. You heard the plague was around Jack the Ripper times. You hear about the plague, around the fucking royalties and the queens and shit. The slaves didn't have the fucking plague. That was some whitey white shit. Now it's coming up through Mexico. and then we can't do nothing about it. You know, they called Trump racist for stopping the airplane, you know, calling the travel ban. And then they said, oh, he gave exceptions to certain places. Yeah, 2 fucking places that we had like 5 Americans in one, and we had another one that had like 10 Americans. One was Ireland. There ain't no coronavirus in Ireland.
No, they're over there living it up.
They drunk as fuck over there like.
You don't hear nothing about them.
Yeah, nope, none.
Never in the news or nothing.
Anytime I ever see anything about Ireland, it's fucking hot, big titty, red haired chicks. That's the only thing. That leprechauns. And alcohol.
Yeah.
Is it?
Lucky Charms and shit.
Is Loch Ness in Ireland? Maybe Loch Ness?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was.
No, that's Scotland.
Scotland. Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
Scotland.
But I mean, they're right next to each other.
They both get fucked up.
Yeah.
So I mean, what the hell? You know, you're gonna bitch about we bringing home like a total of maybe 18 of our Americans, and then those ain't, you know, then that shut down too. I hate when they exploit that. Oh, he left it open to these certain people, but he's racist because he shut it down over here. No, he was bringing all the Americans back. Sorry, an American wasn't in your tan land. Maybe next time. What the fuck? What the fuck? So, if you really think about this, I mean, because there was one person who, he wrote up a whole little essay type deal about how this is going to end up getting switched up in the media, how it's going to go from the Chinese virus to the Mexican plague, and then it was going to be some kind of racism thing against the wall, and then there's one going to be for the wall, and it's going to be a big political shit until the election. It's just going to be another fucking smoke screen. I believe that would have been plausible in the beginning. In the beginning, if everybody didn't just say this came from China, you know, I'm sorry, but if Trump would have shut the fuck up and just this coronavirus, he didn't call it the Chinese, this and that, you know, because that was just a pissing match. You know, I believe he'd have, you know, just left it alone if they didn't just keep egging him on. You know, he called it the Chinese virus. That's where it came from. Chinese food comes from China. Am I racist because I go to the fucking Panda Express? Panda Express sounds more racist than Chinese food.
Yeah, it does, actually.
Sound like I'm about to go eat some panda and shit.
I mean, so like I was saying, you know, if he would have caught on to this in the beginning, Trump could have actually used this very well in the essence of getting rid of all the illegals. He could have got all the sanctuary cities taken care of. He could have got that wall built up real quick. If he would have fucking said, this shit is coming through the sanctuary cities. Nobody is getting tested or treated because they're afraid of fucking ICE. Now we got a pandemic going across everywhere. You guys let these fucking thousands of people rush in through the border these past 2 fucking years. This is you guys. Shut it down. Get them out. It could have been that simple. That fucking simple. As much as he would have got flack from, you know, like the Pelosi's and the Schumers, everybody else would have been like, fucking right, get him out. You know, but no, it's dumbass Chinese Wuhan virus. You know, and I'm not saying that was the right route to go, but sometimes you got to play dirty. But, you know, again, I'm still in awe. The plague has been here for 2 years. There's no treatment for the plague. There's no vaccination. You know how the plague got, you know how people got rid of the plague? One, they cleaned up their towns, and the way they cleaned up their towns was after everybody was dead, they burned that shit to the ground. Yellow fever was like that. We quarantined fucking Michigan back in the fucking 50s. They pretty much left Michigan for dead. Wonder why the water's fucked up now. You know, I'm sure you heard of her, but I never knew what the real story was of it. You ever hear of Typhoid Mary?
No.
First time I heard of her, she was in a comic book. Totally not the same person. But Typhoid Mary was a real person. She was a girl who came in from Russia. I believe it was Russia. She had typhoid fever or typhus, whatever the fuck it is. She came here. She didn't know. She was immune to it. Like her body showed no symptoms, but she was able to pass it along. She was a cook. Back then, there wasn't very many health regulations. You was lucky if you had a net on your head. You know, there wasn't no wash your hands or whatever the fuck, you know, whatever. She was a cook. They found out, you know, there was a big ass outbreak of fucking typhoid fever or typhus, whatever the fuck it is. And they finally narrowed it down to her. She was put on quarantine. After they let her out of quarantine, after 2 years, in the agreement that she would never cook again, she laid low for about a year or two, and then she had to be just an asshole. She did it on purpose. She went back to cooking again, started a whole new outbreak. She was fucking quarantined, she was pretty much thrown in jail for 20 years. You know, pretty much till she was about to die. Because she purposely was spreading this shit. That was fucked up. Whoa, you know, that's like, you know you got like AIDS and you're like fucking, just keep fucking everybody. That's a dick move right there. Yeah. That is a real dick move right there.
That's why it's fucking assault when you spit in someone's face.
Yeah.
And it's assault with a deadly weapon.
It's actually attempted murder if you do have that.
Yes.
So the welfare could cause martial law. And the plague is one of these things that could be called on. And it's not called martial law, it's called medical quarantine. You know, or stay at home order. Is that the new words they're using these days?
Yeah. They don't like the word.
Now the people who enforce this for the CDC is very weird. You know, because they're kind of breaking the rules here now too. We got National Guard and reserves, you know, stationed everywhere, supposedly for humanitarian aid. Yeah, They're not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be either the U.S. Customs, the NSA, which is Border Control, and the Coast Guard. All these people ain't supposed to be inside. This is pretty much outside, keeping shit from flowing in. Customs, they look through your shit. They make sure you're not bringing in any kind of, you know, whatever that might carry, some fruits and shit like that. You know, the Border Patrol agents are stopping people who are coming, and if you're looking like you fuckered up or something, hey, stop it. And Coast Guard, those are the ones that stop people coming in on the boats and shit. Again, I mean, I forget what the law was. I read it over the air. You know, U.S. military is not supposed to be enacted against any American on American soil. It's military law. So somebody's fucking up here with this. You know, somebody's really, really fucking up here with this. And like I said, if any of this shit comes back to one of these sanctuary cities, because I ain't gonna lie, I don't think Trump wants this shit going on. I mean, there's a lot of plausibility that says that, you know, he could have did this, and if he did this, he'd be a fucking genius. But I'm a firm believer that, you know, he stepped on his dick with this whole thing, and he's trying to make up for it. And, you know, that he's doing the best he can at this moment, especially with these assholes constantly throwing fucking, you know, rocks at him.
Yep.
But I got the feeling it at least crossed his mind, like, please say one of these illegals got this shit in one of these sanctuary cities. Please say one of them brought that shit in. Just one brought that shit in. That would make life so much easier. Because, yeah, that all the same, that'd be shut down. I mean, he wouldn't even have to... welfare would shut that shit down. There would have to be no executive order. There would have none of that. None of that. And if you think this martial law shit ain't coming, if y'all don't quit acting the fool, go try to talk to your Huntington banker. Go try to speak to one of them girls that usually cashes your check, or maybe takes care of your finances or whatever, you know. You're not. You get to talk to an ATM. Smart. Let's not get people at your bank, just like a store or whatever. You know, the banks aren't essential, really. But we'll have anywhere from 50 to 100 people, depending on the time of day, an hour, touching the same fucking ATM. What kind of fucking sense does that make? And I know it's real because I went to go cash my motherfucking check at the Huntington at Giant Eagle, where I always go, which you can't, you know, there's 2 chairs there. One on the outside for you to wait, and one on the inside with the little cashier there, and then there's 2 booths that you stand at. So you're not all up in the mix there. I feel my money is essential. Your money is essential. His money is essential. His fucking rent, her bills, my fucking gas, those are essential.
Yeah, very much so.
But you're gonna shut all that shit down. And we gotta all finger fuck the same fucking keypad. Right after, especially up there, right after you just bought your food. Or right before you buy your food. You will tell me that we ain't a foot in the door of martial law. And it ain't like I have, you know, I don't believe Trump wants martial law. But it's all these motherfuckers. I mean, again, use some common sense. This is a bad fucking cold. It's killing our old folks. A lot of younger folks is getting hit. You know, compromised immune systems. We ain't the healthiest motherfuckers in the world. Years of sucking down hormones and them cows from McDonald's. You know, them fake chickens and fucking KFC and shit like that there. Yeah, think your immune system is up to par, motherfuckers?
Mm-hmm.
Why you think we got all these kids with peanut allergies all of a sudden? These little weak motherfuckers. If I think Louis C.K. said it the most. Sorry if I sound harsh, but if a peanut could kill you, maybe you weren't supposed to live. Maybe you weren't supposed to be here. If we just said fuck them rules about peanuts for 1 year, there would be no more peanut allergy issues. Because all of them would be gone. That's the North Korean way of doing it. But guess what? Once again, no coronavirus in North Korea. You know, their vaccination, a bullet. First case, bam. Ain't no more. And then, you know what, like, kind of brings this all together? The fact that not only does the president, I mean, this is a really fucking stupid ass thing to do, but it isn't just the president doing it. It's also Pelosi and Schumer and all them people who talk shit about the president, and all these people on the news that are claiming, that are shutting down all these cities. Each and every one of them cocksuckers is standing nutsack to nutsack, patting each other on the back, shaking hands, adjusting the same fucking mic, coughing as they're speaking. Dude, the president not only has what he wants to say written down, but there's 2 fucking iPads. I've seen like the pan view from the back of his podium. There's 2 iPads up there. Touch screen. You're finger fucking them. Everybody up there. Somebody got to know something. Somebody got to know something. I ain't saying that, you know, this whole conspiracy theory type deal that I've been talking about tonight is real. It gives you a lot of shit to think about there. We're about 6 minutes to the end of the show. Shout out to all our new listeners, all our new people on our Facebook page, all the new likes and shit. Don Cody.
Which we've been playing a lot of his beats tonight,
Anton,
right? So go check him out.
Paul Goon, he still got shit going on out there. All the local places we got.
Matter of fact, I'm glad you said something about Paul Goon.
Great news.
Yeah, for the Big Fest or
whatever that.
Yeah, spring break. As of right now, is looking like it's getting moved to Saturday, May 30th. So.
Well, we're gonna see if Trump was telling the truth and this shit gonna be gone by Easter.
Yeah, and basically that's put with as long as everything is somewhat back to normal. So.
Well, see, this is silly too, dude. as we're talking about this, I get news updates and shit. I got. Where the fuck is it at? No, that's One American News. The hydroxychloroquine, that malaria drug.
Yeah.
That, everybody made fun of Trump because he said that this was going to be the new, what's going to take care of it. We already have the drug. Is effective. That and the Z-Pack, which they give you for a regular flu.
Nice.
No, right. If I'm gonna have to look because I gotta do more than one fucking news thing these days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fucking read Al Jazeera again or something just to see if this is true. But if this is true, then Trump is fucking right. Nigga, how was you right? You ain't been right about a goddamn thing up to this point. And all of a sudden you right? Wait a minute, we gonna have to start tracing the Silk Road here. Because there's more coincidence there than there ever was in the Ukraine scandal, than there ever was in the Clinton scandal. I mean, Hillary ain't got shit on this. And that bitch about to get something too. So I think she got caught up. Because the one person she can't get no fuckaroo to is that Tom Fitton, the head of Judicial Watch. And pretty much, I don't know if it was the president or who in the DOJ gave them free reign, but them motherfuckers is like the head investigators now. I mean, shit. And they pull up shit on Trump too. They're very impartial. They just, they've been on Clinton for a minute. Tom Fitton got a hard on for Clinton. And he's been finding, man. He found enough evidence through FOIA shit, like FOIA, I forget what they call them, but documents that a judge said, yeah, she's gonna have to get deposed again, and she's gonna have to testify in front of some folks again. There's all kind of shit brought up.
Nice.
And that goes back to Trump kept saying there's that hidden server. Fuck around and Tom Fitton got that bitch in his basement like, yeah, bitch, yeah. And I'm curious what's on that. Not for the Epstein shit. Not for the Snowden shit. Well, kind of, but you'll see where it's going. Not for any of this Benghazi shit or any of the other corrupt bullshit with her foundation or how she was in leagues with Obama fucking over Trump. I don't give a fuck. Well, I do care about that, but not as much as there's real. I mean, because Podesta even got caught up in one of his emails that they did find. There's real evidence of real talks about UFOs and aliens and all that shit on there. And one of her campaign things said that if she gets elected, she was going to release all the shit about everything. Like, because at that time, that was like when Britain and England and Australia and everywhere around the world was like, fuck it, we're letting out all our UFO shit. Hillary said she was going to do that. That was the one thing I was like, that shit's all on that, well, supposedly all on that server. So, I hope it comes out. I hope. And I really don't understand, and even with Trump, because they fucking helped him. I know it looked bad, but what really looked bad, I found out why everybody don't like that dude Joe, that fucking Trump let out of prison or whatever. Oh, that dickhead. That was part of that whole quarantine act or whatever. This kid came over. See, that's why I'm not sure about the other story, because I know this kid came over from Russia. Young kid. He was 19 years old. He had some kind of, I think it was some kind of tuberculosis. He tested positive for tuberculosis. And he was ordered to wear a mask. Young kid, you don't want to wear a mask. I guess he lived in a small town. He got picked up. Well, the sheriff, that dickhead that Trump fucking let out, put this poor boy in solitary confinement for 2 fucking years. 2 fucking years, this kid. I mean, he spent his 21st birthday in prison. After the 2 years, I guess his family or whatever petitioned for him to get retested. That boy didn't have no fucking tuberculosis. That boy didn't have anything. He had a fucking cold.
What?
Somebody fucked up.
Wow.
That's why that dude ended up in fucking prison. Because he stood by. He pretty much put that kid through fucking hell for absolutely nothing.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah, sorry, you fucked up. That's stepping on your dick big time there. To me, that's, you should have left that piece of shit in jail. That's just as bad as the Khashoggi shit to me. That's false imprisonment. And you wouldn't even admit that you were wrong. And dude gonna just let you out. What's it called? Not exonerate. Whatever the fuck. He let him the fuck out of fucking jail and said he was a good guy. No, the fuck he wasn't. He was a piece of shit. He was not doing that to help out the community. He was not doing that to save anybody. He was just some fucking asshole who had a hard on for treating his fucking kid like shit. The kid got out of fucking jail and he went back to Russia. Which I would have fucking too. Just think about that. You guys made a fucking kid who was excited to be in the United States, to live here, and did things the right fucking way. You made him fucking go back to Russia. The place that everybody says is our enemy, the worst place that's what a lot of these liberals and Democrats and some dumbass Republicans do. Because he was a Republican. Hey. It ain't just the fucking Democrats and liberals. There's just the majority of them there. A lot of these fucking Republicans are dickheads too. With that, ladies and gents, we're going to end this shit. I believe I covered everything I needed to cover in this whole situation here.
I think so.
Yep.
You got it in there somewhere.
Yep.
Wash your hands. Fucking use some common sense. Remember, unless I state really real to the facts, and just because I say they're the facts don't mean I didn't read some shit that I thought was facts and ain't facts. It's always up in the air. Question everything. Don't believe what I said. Look that shit up yourself. With that, be safe. We got motherfucking Full Album Friday coming up Friday. And then we starting this shit all over fucking Monday with Metal Monday. And I believe Kenya gonna have a little surprise from a local band.
Yep.
It's gonna be great. Be great. So stay tuned in. I'm out.